Just bounce to this.
Between video games and movies, anything sci-fi and futuristic is all the rage. Combine this with the world's love of extreme weaponry, and you have yourself the perfect combination for an explosive wave of ideas. Let's take a look at what creative weaponry engineers of the world have come up with to satisfy our insatiable love for the insane. Known as the Extreme Accuracy Tasked Ordnance, the X-Acto sniper rifle doesn't shoot what you think it does. Instead of razors, this rifle shoots bullets that self-steer to the enemy. You heard that right. The future military could take on the role of the infamous Soldier 76. Like Soldier's Ultimate, these DARPA-created bullets can track down moving enemies, even when they're actively changing their location. This allows for the smart gun to automatically make the corrections that a soldier may typically have to make with a manual gun in order to hit their target. In doing so, more soldiers can be placed on sniper duty and be more useful when they're deployed. This next insane military creation is one that may not be so far into the future. In March of 2018, Boeing began working on a patent for a type of force field that could aid soldiers on their dangerous endeavors. Unlike games like Call of Duty or Apex Legends, a soldier wouldn't have to hit a button to activate the force field. The mechanism would be so smart that it could detect blasts and automatically deploy the shield. Unfortunately, the force field patent isn't being exclusively worked on for soldiers, as it's being primarily used for vehicles. In focusing on the vehicles, soldiers won't have to worry about roadside bombs completely flipping and obliterating their Hummers. You might be wondering, what happens if the bomb is attached to the vehicle? Thankfully, we can answer this for you. When a bomb goes off on the outside of the vehicle, the force field will potentially keep the vehicle moving forward so the soldiers can be safe. While this technology is still being actively worked on, we can only hope for the finished product to come as soon as possible. This next form of weaponry is almost too sci-fi. DARPA's Doug Weber recently presented an idea that they could potentially turn off the fear that soldiers may have. In doing so, they'd be able to stay on track and complete the mission without their basic human emotions kicking in. While this could be good for remaining vigilant and strong during battle, what happens when it goes wrong? Would soldiers turn emotionless and go after their own without realizing it?
My name is Sergeant Andrew Scott.
On the other hand, this could potentially bring good news to veterans who suffer from PTSD, reducing the number of suicides dramatically. Turning off the fear factor could easily develop into using the body's inner workings to ensure the regulation of stress levels. While it sounds good on paper, how sure of this technology can we really be? Bulletproof body armor only goes so far and still leaves parts of the body vulnerable to injury. In the future, we could be looking at entirely bulletproof soldiers. While there wouldn't be bulletproof robots inside of a suit, future soldiers can begin using exoskeletons that completely throw away the idea of your standard Kevlar. Already in production by the US Special Operations Forces, the Talos exoskeleton can protect soldiers while being able to easily carry around up to 80 pounds of equipment. Think this technology couldn't be close to completion? Think again. In the next 5 years, soldiers will begin using bottom exoskeletons and could see full suits in their uniform within the next decade. What if we told you that the future of Army rifles could see 5 rounds at 4,000 FPS set off in one shot? The electric railgun rifle is weaponry that dreams are made of. Thanks to Martin Greer of Forward Defense Munitions, he was able to create the perfect powerful rifle after years of scientific research. Also known as the ribbon gun and the L5, this rifle doesn't operate like your standard firearm either. The bullets use a type of electromagnetic actuator to ensure that the bullets are fired with the assistance of the soldier pulling the trigger. We definitely wouldn't want to be in the sights of those who have this gun. Earlier, we discussed fully bulletproof exoskeleton suits, and that's not all that's being worked on for soldiers. The Center for New American Security reported almost 4 years ago that their exosuits were going to allow soldiers to carry enormous amounts of weight easily, without compromising their bodies or how their gear works. Soldiers will be able to carry a 100-pound machine gun without having assistance, and will actively be able to do so while actively moving. Strengthening exosuits will halt the use of large vehicles to carry weaponry around. In doing so, soldiers can be much stealthier during combat and conquer in battle. One of these suits is called the Hulk Exoskeleton System, and has been ready for soldier testing for quite some time. Almost a decade ago, this robotic suit entered the US military headquarters for training. Despite being robotic, this suit doesn't impede range of motion. In fact, the suit aids soldiers of any size to jump, crawl, squat, and even run at various speeds. While it doesn't do all the heavy lifting, it certainly helps when soldiers have to hike up rough terrain such as the Afghan mountains with hundreds of pounds of equipment.